All right, here we go. How is everyone doing? We are now live, so let's get a quick audio visual check. Can you see everything okay? Can you hear everything okay? How are we all doing today? Obviously having a good day in the market. Very good day in the market. And Ethereum setting new all-time highs, as you can see right here. I'm sitting in a nice 50%, something like that profit right here on Ethereum. Very happy with that. Bitcoin also pushing up to that target that I outlined in the last video. Very, very beautiful movements in the market. We're all good. Here we go. First of all, a shout out to everybody who hit the like button already before the live stream started. Thank you all very much. You know I love you and you know I appreciate you. What we saw with Bitcoin here was great. It was really, really good in my opinion, because Bitcoin, what I didn't like was this, right? We ended up pumping up and then we got rejected really quickly. This is very unusual and irrational market behavior. However, everything after this, in my opinion, was very, very impressive. Shout out to, oh, I'm sorry, I can't say your name, Stefanicus Maximus. Pretty new to the channel, love your work. Thank you, very glad you do. Shout out to StuTube Training for joining us today. We had a beautiful green box of resistance here, which after this irrational market movement, we found resistance at, and then we found resistance here again. And then on the third attempt, we actually broke into that box, which is great because so far, everything we've seen is pretty healthy. We dropped below a resistance level, then we attempted it once, got rejected, attempted it a second time, rejected, third time was the charm, and we ended up trading within the box. We then used this box as support and we pumped out of it, and then we came back down to test it as support, not once, but twice, and then we started rocketing on upwards. This, in my opinion, is really, really good, healthy price action. This is a lot better than what we saw last time around, and you guys already know what my main thoughts are with this potential market setup, where if we do break above this green box, I fully believe that we'll end up seeing this one pretty quickly. And so far, we broke out of it, what, like today? Yeah, we broke out of it in the very early hours of today here in Dubai, and in the Dubai time zone, which I believe is Gulf. And we've already, within the same day, we've already ended up rising up to this green box by just over half of the distance, if that made sense. We've already covered half of the distance between this green box and this green box within the same day that we broke out. So major success on this front as well. We're moving in healthy ways, we're moving in controlled ways, both with resistance and with support. We are working very, very well in this trend right now to have a healthy trend. It almost feels like this is too good to be true, but this kind of thing, it does make me very, very happy, and importantly, it makes me believe that we should be able to set new highs very soon, because we have already tested this resistance area once. I think that we could be on our way to test it again, and of course, if we test it again, you guys already know my thoughts on this stuff. I do believe that these resistance levels get weaker the more we test them, and we've already tested it once quite recently, so I do believe that this attempt has a very strong chance of breaking upwards. And of course, if we break up, we only have resistance again at about $42,000 in my opinion, and that means that, if we are able to rise up there, we're looking at, hitting the all-time high, potentially exceeding the all-time high, because almost every time Bitcoin does this in a bull market, we usually do exceed the all-time high. So guys, within this live stream, I am going to be going through your questions, so just drop them in the comments as we go along. If you are dropping your questions in the comments, then please make sure to tag me with @FORFLIES like this for like this in the chat, so that I see your comment. And I will go through to Ethereum as well. I've had a VIP member request me to look at Ethereum as well in this chart. But right here, very, very happy with how Bitcoin has broken up here. I think it's moving in very healthy ways, and it's definitely setting the right expectations for me that this trend will continue to exceed the resistance levels that it has up ahead. This is also a potential zone that Bitcoin could correct from. We could get a rejection here, and my analysis wouldn't be complete if I didn't consider this. And so you can't hear me very well, Timothy. Can everyone else hear me well? Is it just Timothy? If it is just Timothy, guys, then sorry, Timothy, then maybe you can refresh the page. But my analysis would not be complete if I didn't cover the possibility of a rejection here. And if we do get rejected here, I think that we'll probably go back down to this support area. Hopefully we will not fall below the support area, because if we do, you guys know very well that I do become very bearish if we go below this green box. I did become very bearish over here, although of course I didn't trade it because I wasn't because I wasn't in the mood for losing more money after my previous trade where I did get stopped out. It was for a small loss, but the point is, you know, any loss is a loss, you know, like it's not good. And so I do take it very, very seriously. But you know, if we do end up getting rejected from this level, I would expect to find some support over here, and then I would just expect us to tackle this resistance level once more and then break out. I do think that the chances of breaking out are high now. I wouldn't be surprised if we broke out now, but if we ended up getting rejected and then we tested it again, that also wouldn't surprise me right here on this chart. Let's see if there are any support areas that line up with what I'm saying right here. So 4 hour, our resistance cloud on the Ichimoku has failed twice, and it's now becoming support. So that's a good sign, but I'm more interested in something like the daily chart. Do we have a big amount of support here? And actually, no, all of our support it starts in the $30,000 area. So that's very interesting. If we do end up getting rejected at some point like this, it would mean that we're still trading in some sort of a rising wedge. And actually, that's something I want to talk about in just a minute, so I will mention that in just a bit. But you know, a little bit of support there on the Ichimoku cloud, not great, but it is there at least. Unfortunately, it's not so close to the trend. On the daily chart, though, we do have a lot of support from this EMA ribbon. So what I'm going to do is switch us over to the Bitfinex chart, where I don't have all of these lines. I should just have 2 boxes. Yes, I've got 3 boxes. And oh, are these boxes even correct though? Yeah, I think they are correct. And this is essentially showing us that, look, as time goes on, hopefully these moving averages will come up to the same level as this green box that I already have drawn on the chart. And if we do get these moving averages coming up to this same level, then that's going to be what's called a confluence, where we have multiple indicators now. You know, the first one being just basic horizontal support resistance levels, which are obviously the meat and potatoes of my analysis. My main analysis is not complicated. It's very, very simple. We just do it properly. And then, you know, with a confluence, we're starting to get unrelated indicators showing us exactly the same thing. And at that, in my opinion, a very reliable unrelated indicator. So the fact that it's unrelated means that it's basically, I mean, it's like, you know, you've got here's an analogy for you. You've got a criminal case of a murder, and you have 2 people that didn't cross paths, never heard of each other before, but they give you the same story, and they had no chance to make the same story, you know. So to a detective, that's very credible, because you know, it's just more likely to be true. And that's that's what I'm seeing over here with Bitcoin right now. And I definitely think that that's a very, very good sign. I also want to see, so if we do get this Ichimoku support on the 4 hour, that support is opening up, yeah, in this exact range right here. So again, definitely supporting us upwards. And where is the momentum on the 4 hour chart? Not very useful yet. Okay, so not important. I'm getting a lot of questions about Ethereum. Am I talking to the camera or someone else in the corner of the room? I am talking to the camera. Does it not look like it? I think it looks like I'm talking to the camera. Yeah, I am. I'm not so sure where that came from. Eth Price Target. You guys all want me to look at ETH. Let's go ahead and look at ETH for a minute. VIP members will know that I entered a trade on Ethereum about 24 hours ago now. Maybe closer to 22 hours. I gave them a lot of notice about how I was intending on trading Ethereum. In fact, I even told you guys in the video and in the video yesterday, and I did end up trading Ethereum last night. The idea behind this Ethereum trade was very simply that you know, Ethereum has been in a potential consolidation period for about 30 days, and it was trading in this ascending triangle. I also mentioned in the last video that we usually don't trade all the way to the apex with these ascending triangles, so we would probably get a breakout very, very soon, and we did. And the reason that I expected this breakout to be so strong is there's 2 reasons. First of all, number one, it's a breakout, and it's happened after a long period of consolidation. So that usually means that after long periods of consolidations, you get big explosions upwards, and we did, right? If we look at this on the daily time frame, this is 100%, in my opinion, a quite significant large explosion to the upside. Look at that. This is pretty big, you know, like the last time Ethereum had candles like this, probably down here or maybe even around over here, right? So Ethereum, it doesn't do this super often. And then the second reason was just the fact that it was an ascending triangle, and this is a very common pattern in these markets right now that lend the markets to rise higher. So within that same essentially that same idea, I had two trade ideas. The first one was to open a long position right around over here, although unfortunately it did not fill my order, and so I mentioned to VIPs a little bit afterwards, if Ethereum doesn't fill my order, I'm considering three options. Number one, keep everything the same. Number two, enter a momentum position, enter upon a breakout, which is what I ended up doing. And number three was I don't know what number three was. I can't remember. Number three was probably enter right here or something. And so I did end up entering the momentum position. So my entry, it actually wasn't very good. I entered right at this line over here. And since then, however, it has worked out very, very well. And that's the reason I wanted to enter, because yes, my risk was actually pretty high. The actual entry position for this trade was bad. However, I did see quite a large upside for Ethereum, because the fact is, ladies and gents, Ethereum doesn't have any resistance here. It's this what we're at right now is an all-time high, right? We've been setting all-time highs on Ethereum today, and so in a situation like that, you know, the price can really, really run up very, very strongly. Once again, if I take you back to that Ethereum Bitcoin chart, we definitely had you know, continuing indications of Ethereum gaining more strength against Bitcoin. And actually, I want to put this into perspective for you. I think Ethereum still has a very long way to go in terms of gaining strength against Bitcoin. And what this means essentially, guys, is that Bitcoin, you know, while it's trading sideways, while it's not doing anything particularly interesting, Ethereum could have quite a nice way to rise up. You know, just because it traded up here before against Bitcoin, it doesn't mean we're going to get there now again. However, I think there's a decent probability, because it's not like Ripple, for example, which also shit the bed again, by the way. I'll talk about that in a minute. It's not like Ripple where it's a shit coin, right? Like there's real utility behind it. There is real reason for Ethereum to be around. And I think that does make a powerful argument for Ethereum to rise up on a fundamental level, number one. And number two, just going off technicals, this is usually how it works. So Bitcoin rising nicely today by 4%, but Ethereum up by 8%. So that's why I'm trading this. And, you know, as I speak right now, I'm in something like a 50% profit on that position, which I entered with VIPs, which I entered and told VIPs about, my bad, last night. And obviously moving very, very nicely, Ethereum doubling the gain that Bitcoin has made. So, you know, the thing is it doesn't really have any resistance. Like I said, the previous all-time high was right over here at around the $1,400 level, and beyond that, I mean, it's just psychological round numbers. So that's why I expected Ethereum to keep rising once it passed 1,500, which is obviously a nice round number. It passed 1,500, and it's been an easy climb within the same day, another $150 higher, you know. So I think that it can keep rising like this until it hits some psychological resistance, potentially until Bitcoin hits some resistance. And the really, really good news here, guys, is that Bitcoin's key resistance level, in my opinion, it's still quite far away. You know, if we look at this chart that I have with Bitcoin and we put this into perspective right now, you know, Bitcoin's resistance, we're only halfway to hitting this resistance area right now, according to my analysis. You know, we've only traveled halfway between these two green boxes, just a little bit further than halfway. So if Bitcoin makes another, you know, I mean, let's actually calculate this. Let's be specific for once. If Bitcoin goes from $37,000 up to the start of this resistance area is 38,000, the top is 39,000, that's a 3 to 5% pump. And if Ethereum, as it is doing right now, rises by double what Bitcoin rises by, you know, like recently Bitcoin has been rising by X amount, Ethereum would usually rise by 2x, right? Like 2 times what Bitcoin does. Well, if Bitcoin makes another 3% rise, we might see 6% on Ethereum according to that rule, or if it's up by 5%, we might see another 10% gain on Ethereum. And again, you know, just to put these gains into perspective, let's measure this from the current price we're at right now. Going 6% up from here would put us at 1730, which would put me in a bloody beautiful profit. And 10% up from here would put us at $1,800 on the dot. So that's a pretty nice round psychological number right there, $1,800. It's $200 off 2,000, and yeah, potential tops. I mean, there's no way you can forecast the top in these kind of markets right now. You know, a lot of it is just down to luck, and that's the brutal reality of it. However, you know, just looking at where Bitcoin might top out, we know that if Bitcoin gets a rejection, Ethereum's probably going to get rejected too. And Ethereum will probably get rejected pretty hard. So I think that those are some, you know, pretty nice targets to aim for, basically in the $1,700 range, anywhere between kind of $1,720 and $1,800, making sense as a potential target for Ethereum. And actually, I'm curious, where would that put me for my position? I entered at exactly 1521, and rising up into the middle of this range would be a 15% gain, and I use 7 times leverage, so 105% profit, if my math is correct. Someone correct me. I think that's 105%, closer to about 110%. So pretty good. I would double my money on that trade, and that's good. And I think that it's very doable within the next day, because the other piece of good news, as I keep saying, is that I do expect Bitcoin to essentially just teleport between this box and this box, you know, get there pretty quickly. Last time it happened perfectly, you know, I mean, it was like within the same couple of hours that Bitcoin ended up hitting this second box. Obviously, this time we're doing it a little bit slower, but at this rate, we're looking at still potentially reaching this level just in 2 days. And I think that's pretty reasonable. You know, I can't complain with that. I'm going to start going through your questions in just a minute, but thank you all for those of you who have tuned in today, and thank you to Wen Moon for already clicking like on the video. So if you haven't already liked this live stream, please do. It really does help out. We actually don't have many viewers in today, which is surprising, although I haven't been so consistent with the channel. Those of you who have been asking, my personal issue has now been resolved with the car, and that's put me in a very good mood. I think that's why I had this trade, this successful trade. Sammy, can you look at Cardano? Yes, I will. I will look at Cardano. I'll look at it a little bit later, though. Yeah, not many likes in this live stream. Let's pump them up, guys. Quick question: ETH decoupling and a better leverage for ETH means more profit for ETH in the coming days? Yes, it does. What this person is asking is, if Ethereum keeps moving out of proportion with Bitcoin, does it mean better profits with Ethereum? Almost always, yes. And at the moment, yeah, definitely. So, good question. FORFLIES, is it good to wait for investments for a bit on ETH, or should I wait for a rejection? Well, I can't advise you on what to do, but in a situation like this, you know, Ethereum is in a position where, like I said, it doesn't have any resistance. So if it gets rejections, if it gets pullbacks, it's all just arbitrary and it's just noise, in my opinion. If we do get a rejection, then, you know, potentially coming down to this area, which is where we consolidated already, would make some sense. But I don't really see anything stopping Ethereum right now. You know, it would have to be something unexpected. You know, like on a technical level, I don't see any reason for Ethereum to get top out. There is something that I want to show you on the Kraken chart really quickly. Oh, actually, Kraken chart is not very reliable. Let's use Bitfinex, although that's not super reliable either. And it is the rising wedge. So I actually, oh, we've just broken that actually. So no, I don't think so. Yeah, so here's the rising wedge that I wanted to show you. It would look something a little bit like this. And actually, you could draw this resistance line any way you like, you know. So here's another way to potentially draw this resistance area. It's just the point is, there is this diagonal line that acted as resistance for Ethereum, and Ethereum already passed it, you know. So I really don't see any reason for Ethereum to get rejected right now. You know, there might be some Fibonacci extension that you can draw, but on a technical level, you know, when it's at an all-time high, you know, being at an all-time high means a few things, and one of the key things it means is exuberance in the market, and that makes it quite hard to predict where it's going to dip. Obviously, it will dip, but it might dip from here down to $1,500, or it might dip from, you know, this is what makes it so unpredictable. It might dip from 2,200 down to 1,800, right? And so if you're waiting for a good entry here, you might not get it, and that's one of the reasons that it's important to be in the trade before the move happens, and that's what I was aiming for here, because, you know, I don't know how high Ethereum can go here, but I have good reason to believe it can rise up easily by another couple $100. You know, I'm being quite conservative here. I think that, you know, going up to like $2,000 would make a lot of sense, you know. And so, you know, when we consider things like that, good time to wait, good time to wait for a rejection, things like that. Everyone wants in when the train has already left. That's all I can say. And another thing to keep in mind is at all-time highs a lot of the time, unless there's a reason to be scared, people don't want to sell. And if they don't want to sell, which is very obvious right now because the price keeps going up, if they don't want to sell but people want to buy, the price just keeps going higher, And so again, from a technical level, I don't see a reason for a pullback to happen right now. It'll still happen, definitely. Hopefully we come down to a level like 1500. However, if there's no reason for it to happen right now. I think that's really important to keep in mind. Good question. Thank you very much for that. Yo, Sammy, it's Ravi. I know a lot of Ravis. I'm not sure which one. I'm new to Forex and need some tips. This is not a Forex channel, bro. Mike shouting me out. Thank you very much. Still learning as well. Of course, we're all still learning. I'm still learning, right? I mean, like, you never get away from that as a trader. And God help you if you think you can, because it's not going to work. What are my thoughts on Tesla? As a company or as a stock? As a stock, I have no thoughts. As a company, I love them. FORFLIES, do I think this 0.618 Fibonacci on Bitcoin offers a short-term pullback? Also, where would I look to enter an ETH long right now? Dallas Kirkwood, I already entered an Ethereum long position in the past 22 roughly hours, 23 hours. So I have no intention on trading Ethereum right now. If I had to choose, I would look to either enter a long position around over here if we get a pullback, or if we consolidate sideways for the next few hours, I might decide to enter a long position anticipating another break upwards. Those are the two. But I'm already in a trade, and so I don't think there's a good opportunity anymore. I saw a good opportunity and it was over here and I took it, and it's like whatever now. It might not be a 50%, it's like a 40% profit. So like that's what I see. It's always going to vary and things like that, but I think that right now I'm pretty happy with the entry, and I wouldn't have chosen anything else. Obviously, I would have preferred it to be lower. My ideal entry level was around over here, but this pullback, it didn't come down to my entry level. My entry level was $5 lower than this wick right here. So unfortunately, with this little wick right here, my entry level was $5 lower than that. So unfortunately, I didn't get filled, and that's why I decided, right, I need to rush into this if we do blast off, because there is no resistance. Dallas, you had two parts to your question though, so let me answer the first part. 0.618 fib offers a short-term pullback. So let's look at that. I don't know where you're drawing your Fibonacci from, this is going to be difficult for me. If you can clarify that in the comments, I will do it again. But let's see where I can draw Fibonacci. Obviously, this is one of my favorite tools for those of you who don't know. I really, really love the Fibonacci retracement. I find it to be super reliable. I'm going to draw it from this low up to this high, and maybe that's what you're talking about. So we're currently trading at the 382, which is the mirror of the 618. This might be what you're talking about. I'm not seeing any huge confluence here, mate. I don't see any huge reason that there is confluence here. Confluence is not the correct word. This Fibonacci is relatively accurate, but I don't think this is going to be what rejects us. There is something else that a lot of people are talking about with resistance right now, and it's the same thing with Ethereum actually, but in reverse, which is actually that Bitcoin has some diagonal resistance that looks a little bit like this. However, I don't think the argument for this is strong. We had a very, very nice descending triangle pattern that looked a little bit like this, and we broke out of it with the Elon Musk pump, right? And then we even came back down to test it as support. So this resistance level doesn't exist anymore. Now it's support. And then you would have to redraw the line to look like this. And again, we broke out of it. We came down to test it. Look, we came down to test it again. So again, this resistance doesn't hold. So now we can draw a new resistance level that looks like this. And I think you're starting to get the picture for why I don't really care about this idea, because you would have to redraw this resistance level constantly. And it failed the past 2 times. Maybe it's going to work on the 3rd time, but now you're just banking on luck. And so I don't think it's a good I don't think it's a good approach in this market. So this kind of resistance level I'm not really interested in. I have heard some people, you know, being bearish about it because of this. Same with Ethereum, but they're not very consistent. And actually, guys, this is why I said earlier on in the live stream, my analysis style is very simple. I don't do things that are super complex or anything like that. My main analysis is just horizontal support resistance boxes and lines. And you know, there is a lot going on in this chart, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of boxes and a lot of lines, but it's very simple. I haven't used any indicators or anything like that. And you know, one of the reasons I love this is it really helps you remove subjectivity. You know, you can only draw a horizontal level one way, just horizontal. There's only one axis. And so relying on lines or boxes like this, I find it to be much more accurate, and there's a lot less room to just change what your analysis is on the fly to fit your purpose. And that's fine to do, but when you do it too much, like I've seen people doing recently with these diagonal lines, I think that's where you just start to lose meaning with your analysis. And so this is a problem that I aim to avoid by just using basic tools like this, which I think do the same job but even better. What else have we got? Can we see the Fibonacci levels if 1650 is the short-term all-time high? So this person is asking about Ethereum. Again, brother, I don't know where you want me to draw the bottom of the Fibonacci from. So we can, but I don't know what is a good chart. Let's use Bitfinex again. I don't know kind of like where to start the Fibonacci from. Probably I would start it from, yeah, probably from this pump here up to the high. I mean, we're already pushing that all-time high right now, aren't we? But okay, so there's beautiful support right here. Look at this 382 level, obviously a very important Fibonacci level. If you don't know much about the Fibonacci, by the way, it goes lower than kind of 1510. That's where I'll start getting a little bit worried. And there is still good support below. So I mean, we could come down on a macro. In fact, we should come down on a macro scale, you know, over the long term, and then kind of like test this kind of support area. I don't think we will. It's not normal for the price to do that after we break the all-time high in crypto. Usually in crypto, it's very aggressive. However, if we do, it's all the better. And so yeah, thank you. I hope that's what you were talking about with the Fibonacci. That's how I would draw it. I guess we could also draw it a bit like this, but yeah, it's not so valid in my opinion. Still looks good nonetheless. If this does turn out to be the short-term all-time high, then I think, yeah, there is some good support to expect around 1570 level, 1510 level, and beyond those two levels, yeah, I'd start getting a little bit worried. And if we break kind of, you know, if we drop below, yeah, like 1450, something like this, if we drop below this area, then I would get bearish. Then I would think that we're in dangerous territory. So I'd get concerned if we drop below this line, and I would become bearish if we drop below this line. ADA, yeah. So let's go ahead and look at Cardano now. We've been talking a lot about Cardano on this channel and how I'm expecting it to rise up higher. Currently, so what I was saying last time, in fact, the analysis on Cardano, since it was like at this range, everything I mentioned before, after that has happened, and actually very accurately. So it's very impressive. I mentioned first that we might get rejected here, but the second time we'll probably break out. And I said that if we rise above this green line, we'll probably rise straight to this green line. And if we drop below this one, we'll probably fall down to this one. And so the analysis on Cardano has been moving really, really well. We've had some VIP members making beautiful profits on that as well. Okay, Phil mentioning in the comments that Bitcoin videos are not showing up in searches as much at the moment, and other streamers are complaining of this the last couple days. That's why there's not so many viewers tonight. Yeah, so we're at 700 right now. I think it's just people aren't really aware that the live stream is happening. But if you guys do click the like button, we can solve that problem. So I'd appreciate if you could. Always a very, very nice help. But we ended up moving very, very nicely with Cardano, and most recently I mentioned that we're in a bull flag, and this will probably break out. And the reason I'm telling you this, other than to just brag, because I love bragging, I guess, but other than just that, is it's in a very nice uptrend right now. And, you know, again, to put this into perspective, it's in a big uptrend, right? From low to high, it's risen by 160%. So that's big money, you know, like $100 would turn into $260 just on this move in 30 days. So this is a big deal. It's in a very big uptrend. It's in a relatively long-term uptrend, you know, for this market right now. It's in a 30-day uptrend, so it's been trending up for a nice amount of time. We've had healthy pullbacks throughout this trend, and we've had healthy time consolidations. And so we look at Cardano right now, and I think that we're just in some sort of kind of like falling wedge before we end up breaking up, because we're in, you know, like a long-term, mid-term uptrend with Cardano. It's risen by a significant amount, so we know by percentages that this is also a significant uptrend. We've already had nice pullbacks, and we've recently just come out of a, you know, pretty long-term consolidation. You know, this consolidation, I'm sorry, it lasted about 15 days, which I think is pretty long. And just coming off the back of that, I wouldn't expect that the next. I do think that we're still in an uptrend, right? I still think we're going to go up. I wouldn't expect that this consolidation will take a long time, you know. So I would expect that Cardano would probably break out and upwards pretty quickly over here. You know, it could just be if Bitcoin starts trading sideways around this range, that's what allows Cardano to start pumping up. This is actually something I'd be interested in trading, because one of my key strategies in the market that I've been using over the past 6 months, and I'm happy to tell you about it, because there's so many more secrets like this that I'm filling VIPs in on, so it's not like I have a shortage. But one of the key ways that I've been able to absolutely kill in this market over the past couple of months was, I should say over the past 6 months, was I would make a good trade like I did on Ethereum, and then I would raise my stop loss up to break even, right? So originally my stop loss was like around over here, and then I raised it up to break even right here. Now there's no risk on the trade anymore. So if we do come down to this level, which to be honest looks fairly likely, but if we do come down to this level, I wouldn't lose any money, and I've already been taking profits as I went up. So VIPs have been filled in on what my profit taking strategy has been along this trade. Obviously, like with every single trade, I tell VIP members exactly what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, explaining everything behind the reasoning for my trades. Basically using VIP as my own trading journal. You know, like I don't leave any details out other than, of course, position size, and they get the full deal. So if you want to join VIP and find out what's going on in there, how people have been able to pull absolutely amazing profits inside of VIP. This guy over here, one of my favorite testimonials of all time, mentioning that he's made a massive profit, sold 95% of his profits of his Bitcoin at 38k. He's only trading with a small amount of Bitcoin now, so he's taken all of that risk out of the market, and he's doing something very sensible. He's buying a house. So this guy, you know, what I like is that he's committing to an exit plan, but he's still staying in the game with, I mean, 0.25 BTC right now is still good money, you know, like it's 10k or something, right? So it's a lot of money to still keep in the market, and his goal is to run this up and start the accumulation process again, now with a house on his name as well. So if you want to see how these people have been able to pull these results and gain access to the same stuff that they had, then you can join VIP by following these steps on screen. But the deal with Ethereum right here, in my opinion, is that you know, and my whole trading strategy, and I'll keep this on for just a minute if you do want to join VIP. I already see your messages about it, so my assistant will get to you quite soon. By the way, our prices, if you missed it, they're at the lowest they've ever been. It's not a discount. It's like we've changed the prices now because VIP just stopped being affordable, you know, because of the Bitcoin pump. But anyway, back to the point. As a trader, my strategy has been to trade one market and raise my stop loss up to break even so that my risk becomes zero, and then make the same trade in a different parallel market. And what that means is if I've traded something on Ethereum and then I see the same kind of opportunity on Cardano, I would first trade Ethereum. I would bring that trade to zero risk, so I would put my stop loss at break even. Now it's not possible to lose money, and I'm already taking profits on the way up, so I'm in a great position. It's the best possible position to be in my opinion. Then I would look to open new risk, and my overall risk stays quite low. And I was doing this like a monster over the past 6 months. I mean, I would trade it first on Bitcoin, then I would trade it on Ethereum, then on Cardano. I would make the same trade like 3 times in a row, each time like 50% profit, 60%, 110%, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And those profits would compound really, really quickly. And that was my strategy, and it still is. And so we look at something like Cardano, and I think that we absolutely right now are in a position where Cardano could be in a short-term continuation pattern, because it's already had a long-term continuation pattern, right? This is not long-term, but this was 15, 16 days, which is still a long time for an altcoin. I think that this one could end up being quite short and lending Cardano to rise higher, and I'm ready now and willing to accept more risk in this market at the moment, because my current Ethereum risk is at 0. So the whole point of this tangent is that I'm interested in trading this, and I think that it might be good to trade. So thank you for whoever asked me to look at Cardano. It's definitely something that I'm interested in trading, and as you know already, if you watch this channel regularly, one of the key things that I talk about is usually we will have long-term continuation patterns followed by short-term continuation patterns, and we have a very nice example of this right here. Look, this was, you know, broadly speaking, just a sideways trading range which lasted, let's see how long this lasted, so something like 8 days, you know, just over a week. And after that, the next continuation pattern lasted only about a day. So a very, very clear example here. Yes, this was about 14 hours compared to 8 days, you know. So when we have long-term continuation patterns, it might flip to short-term and then back to long-term. And I think this one right here could be another short-term continuation, potentially ready to break out any moment now. So same thing I said about Ethereum yesterday. Channels are not being recommended even to subscribers who have notifications on. Okay, so I hope that it's just a an issue with the tech side, and not that they're trying to shadow ban crypto YouTube again, because that would be annoying. Someone's saying we're not getting viewers because there's too many people live streaming. That's a good point. Yeah. I really learned a lot from this channel. Thanks, Sammy. Absolutely, you're fully welcome for it. So thank you as well for tuning in. Some people saying that the stream froze. I hope it's okay now. It looks like it is. Can I do cardamom? Did you mean Cardano? I just analyzed. In fact, I'm analyzing it right now. Just rewind the live stream. Yeah, the Dubai connection is terrible, guys. I'm really sorry. Greetings from Abu Dhabi. Greetings to you too. Am I a friend with Crypto? Yes. And am I from Pakistan? Half. Yes. Biologically, not in culture or anything. Do I use the Fibonacci to decide when to enter? If I can, yes. I think the Fibonacci is one of the most reliable tools available to an analyst, and I absolutely love it. So where I can, 100% I like to use the Fibonacci tool. It's just that in a market like this, a lot of the positions I'm taking are breakout trades because they're just safer in my opinion, and that makes, you know, that makes it impossible to use a Fibonacci, because, you know, with Ethereum, for example, I entered at an all-time high. FORFLIES just was listening today to another guy who said he sees much more potential for Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. Me too, and would not be surprised to see Ethereum by the end of the year around $40,000. $40,000, to be honest, sounds a little bit hopeful, but sure, you know, I don't know. This is not the I don't really have thoughts on that kind of stuff, you know, because that's analysis that goes quite far in the future, and you guys will have noticed by now I don't do analysis that's very long term. You know, I'm only interested in what is the next move. Are we going to find support here, then bounce up? Are we going to keep on moving up? You know, are we going to break this resistance level at this green box and then go up to the all-time high? It's these kind of questions that I'm interested in. What's going to happen in the next 24, 48, 72 hours, 96 hours? That's all I care about, you know. If the time frame becomes longer than a week, I'm not asking the question. And that's because my trading style is very concentrated. You know, like that's why I suffered, what, like a 10-20% loss 2 days ago. Today, 50% profit. You know, like that's why these gains happen compared to the losses, and that's why they happen quite consistently. That's why I mentioned I have this aggressive stance in the market where I make the same trade 3 times in a row in different markets that are parallel, so like related markets. They're all crypto markets. You know, that's very important to me, and it means that I don't have not necessarily that I don't have the time to ask those questions, but if I did, it would mean that I'm distracted from my core stuff. Those are questions for investors to rub themselves off to, and if it gets you going, then it gets you going. But you know, right now I think $2,000 is realistic for Ethereum. I think it's obviously very close to 2,000 as well. Let's actually calculate it with percentages. You know, like it's not a big rise up for Ethereum now. It's only another 21%. And you know, just to put this into perspective, we already broke out and rose up by 13%. So we're only asking to get this same move, you know, like 2.5 times, 3 times again, and we're up to $2,000. You know, 2,000 is very realistic. 2,500, obviously, I think could happen as well. Patrick asking, how is ETC connected to ETH? Ethereum, as you know, is ETH. It is that is the shortened ticker symbol. ETC is Ethereum Classic, and it's not connected to Ethereum. It's meant to be a competitor coin of Ethereum, essentially. And that's not the technical explanation, but this channel doesn't really talk about that stuff. So someone says they sold at 1550, but you're not impressed with yourself. This person sold Ethereum right around over here and unhappy about it. And I have a strong opinion about this. You know, I understand that you're not happy about it because you wanted to make more money, and you know, like we're all competitive here, and we want to make good money in these markets. However, oh, that was bad. Did I mess up something on the stream? No, I think it's fine. However, you still sold at a gain, and you still got out of your position at a profit, you know. And so one of the key things that VIP members see me doing is a lot of the time someone might make this mistake. It's not a mistake, but they might sell prematurely at a level that they don't really want to sell at. And so the next time they'll kind of revenge trade, and they'll be a little bit more aggressive because they thought, well, I could have made like an extra $3,000. I could have made an extra $250. So this time I'm gonna dial up my aggression. And I think that it's a very dangerous place to be. And so a lot of the time VIP members see me doing this almost just to drive home the lesson, to pay respect to the younger Sammy that was making these mistakes. Is I will just take profits at random times. And VIPs saw me doing this today. I was taking profits at you know, when I hit 10% profit, when I hit 30% profit, even though I knew it would keep rising up, just because it manages my risk. It brings my risk back to something that's a little bit safer, because I want to make sure that I don't have potential to lose money. If I'm not losing money and I'm booking a profit, it doesn't matter whether that profit is 1% or 300%. It's still very, very good, and the goal is to compound it. And so, sure, you sold at 1550. You could have sold $100 higher, but you still sold at the all-time high, and you still made a good profit. And I think that makes you a winner. Guys, one of the first things that I talk about inside of VIP, and if you're one of the people who purchase VIP along with our courses, is the power of compounding profits. You know, and I deliberately give you the example. I'm running it through with our newest staff member now because she has to be trained a little bit on what it means to be a trader. And one of the key things that I was explaining to her is the value of making just a 10% profit. You know, a 10% profit is way sexier than you think. And you know, one of the key reasons for that is it's very easy to make 10% in this market. You know, if you are a leverage trader, just to put this into perspective, Ethereum would only need to rise up by 1%. Look at this, 1%. If you're trading on leverage, just this much. Ethereum would only need to rise by 1% if you're using 10 times leverage, and you've made a 10% profit. I can't click it. I don't know why I can click on certain days and I can't on other days. Do you guys know? There must be some reason. But anyway, you only need a 1%. It's basically just a fluctuation in order to make a 10% profit, right? So the reason I'm saying this is it's very achievable. It's very easy to make a 10% profit when you're using leverage, when you're applying leverage. And crucially, because you can make them a lot and you can make them easily, the power is in compounding them. So if I run some basic math here for you live on this video, if we start with $100, right, and we make a 10% profit, this is what the math calculation looks like. It's 100 times 1.1. And if we then multiply this by I'm sorry, if we use this up arrow, which represents to the power of 10, this would be like writing times 1.1 times 1.1 and so on 10 times, which would essentially mean if we have $100 and we make 10% profit on that, 10 times in a row, what does the balance become? And right there, it becomes $260. So by making the same very achievable gain 10 times in a row, which obviously it's not easy, but it's very doable. It's the point, you know, like nothing in trading is easy, but it's very, very doable. It's very easy to it's simple to achieve, and you just get 10 of them, right? Or let's see what happens if you get 5. You know, you get 5 of these in a row, you're up 60%. I think the real beauty is when you start jumping into the exponential gains. Now you're looking at a $260 account starting with $100, you know. And so one of the key things, we go back to this guy who sold at 1550, is, you know, like let's say you get 15 10% profits in a row. Now you've blown up your account by 4 times, right? And so it's the power of exponential gains. You start getting the ball rolling. You've done 20 of them now, you're up by 7 times nearly. And so the point is, you know, like, yeah, sure, you could have made more money, but it's not about that. It's about replicating the same results over and over. 30% profit is even more impressive, ladies and gents, because it's still pretty easy to achieve. You know, like I just did it in a day trading Ethereum, and if you only get 3 of them in a row, you know, 30% profits in a row will more than double your money. You know, so again, like, what does 5 do? And you know, now you've nearly quadrupled your money with 5 of these gains. Again, they're not easy to make, but the way you need to make them is quite simple if you're applying leverage. And so yeah, like, sure, you could have made more money, but that's not the point. You know, if you can replicate that again, which you did, you exercised good risk management, you worked really, really well in the market here, you stand to be in a very, very good position, because that's where the beauty is in anything. It's in compounding the gains. And I just set aside like 5-10 minutes talking about this, which I think should tell you a little bit about how passionate I am about this particular problem, and how important it is that you don't suffer it, because you've done well, and if you keep on trading like that, you will tap into something very, very beautiful, and I think that's extremely important. So there you go. That's my tangent on these things. And if you want to learn more about this and how to actually achieve these kind of trades, then the information on how I do this, the tutorials, the explanations, you know, just like this live stream, they're all inside the FORFLIES Academy and VIP groups and group and course. And so if you want to jump into that stuff, then once again, just follow these steps on screen. A bunch of you already have throughout this live stream, and my assistant will give you information on what we're offering. And if you want to know where I'm trading these things, one of the exchanges I use 3 mainly. One of them is Phemex right here on screen. These guys, they actually allow you to trade gold as well, which is very impressive. But they've got an Ethereum pair against USD, they've got Bitcoin against USD, and then some others like Cardano as well. And I mentioned just now that Cardano is one of the coins that I would like to trade. And so I think that there is you know, a lot of good pairs on Phemex. I've been using them. They're good, they're safe. I've got a contact here as well. This is one of the reasons I like to tell you about exchanges. If you want to sign up to it, there's a link in the description where if I am telling you about an exchange that I use, it's because I have a contact there. And that means if you ever run into an issue and you've signed up with my link and stuff like that, you can just come straight to me and say, hey, Sammy, I've got this problem. Can you make sure that they fix it for me quickly? And there was a time where someone, you know, he couldn't withdraw his money, and he came to me because he needed some help. And because I knew the guy at the exchange, I was able to get him an answer within the same day, you know. And so by following the referral link in the description below, you're going to get trading bonuses. You're going to get free money to play with when you sign up, which allows you to test out the platform and things like that. And you also have a route, you know, without KYC, you know, having access to this leverage stuff. Obviously, if you're in the US, you will need a VPN, but I can't endorse that. You will have access to some very, very useful trading tools. And if things ever go badly, you've got contact access to me by following these steps on screen. These steps on screen. and you can make good use of that. So the link to Phemex is in the description, and if you want to sign up to them, you can pause the video here and use that link, and it is going to give you a trading bonus. Something important to note, of course, is that there's probably hundreds of exchanges out there. So if you don't want to use Phemex, you don't have to, but this is definitely one that I'm happy with, and I've been working with them for quite a while now. Let's see what else we have in the chat right now. Dallas saying, thank you for answering my question. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for dropping your question here. FORFLIES, when taking profits, do I take the difference in gains or do I withdraw all of your money? Also, what wallet do you transfer your profits to? Why does everyone want to know that? Just get a hardware wallet. If you have serious money that you think is worth protecting, then get a hardware wallet. Do I take the difference in gains? So, you know, this really depends on risk management and things like that. Part of it is operational security. Are you comfortable keeping money on the exchange and stuff like that? I only ever keep functional amounts of money on exchanges, just what I want to trade with. And if it becomes too much and I don't want to trade with that much money, then I will take it out. Let's see what else we have in the comments today. FORFLIES, I think all crypto YouTubers should move to Theta. I don't want to, like, it sounds cool, bro, but I'm gonna stick with this for a little bit. I understand that I should because YouTube is shit, but look at this. New all-time high for Ethereum while we're live. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Nice profits coming in. Very, very nice. Anyway, yeah, if other YouTubers do, I'll join them, but, you know, I don't want to be the guy that leads the charge on that. I don't think it's worth the effort, to be honest. Sammy, what's your view on the low being in for Bitcoin? Oh, that's a loaded question. Yeah, I mean, look, short-term analysis-wise, I think there's a good argument to make that the low is in for Bitcoin and the low is over here, purely because we've overcome some important resistance levels already. So I think that, you know, really strengthens the argument for Bitcoin, you know, actually having set its low, and it's just going to keep rising higher from here. Broadly speaking, obviously, the more we get pullbacks, the happier I get, but I think we're quite far away from me starting to ask that question, Falcon, and the reason for that is because before we get down to this low and potentially challenge it, we would need to break this support level, and then this support line, and then these two support lines, and then this red box over here, and then this green box. There's just a lot that would need to happen, and so like for now, with my short-term analysis, 100%, I think that Bitcoin has set the low and it's not going back down there. But, you know, it can change. You know, like maybe we get rejected here and we get a big rejection. You know, it's entirely possible. And so there's a lot of things that need to happen. And, you know, the reason I don't like to ask questions like that is you have to start asking multiple if questions. You know, you have to ask, like, if this happens and this might happen, then would this happen? And if any of you guys have studied math, you're an accountant, whatever, and you have an understanding of how percentages work, the more you multiply probabilities, the lower the overall probability of each scenario playing out is. If that didn't make sense, don't worry. It's just a complicated math thing. But that's why I don't, you know, like, it's basically, it's too many steps ahead and you can't get to this step until you've answered this step here. And that's why I don't really like considering those things. Have I been getting some sun? Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to avoid it, isn't it, in Dubai? I wouldn't, to answer your question, Chase, I wouldn't say it's my favorite place in the world. My favorite place in the world is Dubai. Sorry, LA. By a long shot, like nothing comes close, but Dubai's up there, you know. I keep thinking about it. If I were an Emirati, if I was a local, an Arab local here, and I was born here, I would fucking love the government, you know, because this government here has done the best job of any government in the past, you know, like 30-40 years, in my opinion. And you've got the weather, and you've got the culture, which is conservative and not fucking changing genders every second and putting trannies in front of your kids in school, you know, and it's just sane people here, you know, and they welcome business and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a cool place, you know, like at the moment during all the lockdowns and all that, I think this is probably one of the best places on the planet to be. What else have we got in the comments? Brandon, I appreciate you compounding advice. That's an amazing mindset to keep perspective. Yeah, I'm glad you appreciate it, Brandon. I think it's really important. If you guys have found that useful, please smash up the like button. What's wrong with me? Did I say something stupid there? I don't know, but no, it's important, and so yeah, like I said, if you did learn something from it, please do smash up the like button about my compounding profits thing, because that's what we're in for. You know, whether you like it or not, you're probably going to be around in this crypto trading space for at least a couple of months before you quit, if you do quit. And so we all want to make overnight riches, and I promise you they will come if you take this approach. You know, like I take this approach, and this is how I make my overnight 400% profit gains too. You know, like that's still, yeah, that's how it works for me. You know, like I don't necessarily aim for them, but they just come as a natural result of having good risk management and picking out good opportunities. But the main thing I'm aiming for is compounding these profits, because like the only shortcut is that there is no shortcut. And so by prioritizing those, you get to keep your risk pretty small, but you still enjoy the profits of the stars. You know, it's really, again, guys, I want to put this into perspective for you. If you're trading this on 10 times leverage, for example, Bitcoin from its current level up to this resistance area is a 3% pump. And we know, just based off the analysis I've given you before, and you know, the fact that we've already done it before as well, I strongly believe, you know, you might not, and that's fine because I'm not your financial advisor, but I strongly believe that there is a high probability of Bitcoin going up here. And so, you know, by trading this move on 10, and I don't, by the way, I'm not saying this is a good idea, because right now we're right in the middle of two key areas. So this would be a stupid trade in my opinion right now. I mean, it would still probably work. I don't see why it wouldn't work, but I think it's stupid. But the point is, I think there's a good chance of Bitcoin rising up to this level now, and it's another 3% pump. And so, you know, a 3% move on 10 times leverage is 30% profit. Again, if these things, they don't make sense to you, then we've got tutorials explaining what's going on inside of VIP and the FORFLIES Academy as well. There's no circumstance where someone can join the group and join the course and then still not understand what's going on, you know, unless they just don't watch the content we have in there, and then that's on you. But we've given you everything, and we've had a lot of traders join us. One very recently, actually, who mentioned that he was kind of new to the game. Actually, it wasn't a he, my bad, it was a she. And she's one of our yearly members. Let me show you this, this screenshot. Her message reads, "Not bad for a first trade. I'm still in the trade though." And this person, on 5 times leverage, using very, very small amounts. I mean, it's only $500 and $100 of her own, because she just wants to get to grips with the exchange, but already making a 24% profit on her first trade ever. This is somebody who didn't even know what buttons to press, you know, didn't know, you know, basic things like setting stop losses, entering a leverage trade, how to even move money around. This person didn't know anything, was a complete beginner. But with the content that we have inside of VIP and the course, that's never a problem. And so this person already benefiting from a nice gain, obviously a small dollar gain. No one cares about $26 in profit, but 24%, 25%, that's powerful, you know, because if she traded this with 10 times the money, if she put in $1,000, all of a sudden that's a $260 gain. Did I say that math correctly? Yeah, I think so. And $260 is good. Like, now we're talking about, I don't know, like gas for a month or whatever, right? So it's pretty good. And you know, like, if you don't understand these concepts, we will teach it to you with the offerings that we have here. And if you can't join VIP, by the way, if it's out of budget and things like that, there's a bunch of tutorials out there. Very, very easy to learn. Why the fuck is Litecoin not moving? Litecoin doesn't really move, does it? It's kind of like constantly sleeping, right? Alan saying, "Amen, brother. Hope you're doing well out there." I am, thank you. You know what's embarrassing? I'm from the United States and I've never been to LA. Thailand is my favorite. Thanks for your answer. What was that? Just heard a really weird noise. Yeah, you should go to LA. It's beautiful. It's the best place, honestly. It's the energy. Like, if you don't get it, you won't, like, if you don't get it straight away, you will never get it. But if you do, like, if you know, like, you will know straight away. and it's just worth stepping in there and seeing if you vibe with it. Because I know I certainly do. My assistant is here, by the way, so he'll start responding to your messages in just a minute if you want to join VIP. What else have we got in the comments? I haven't even gone through my core analysis, actually, so I should probably finish that before I keep going through your questions. Just got kind of carried away. Let's see what else we've got here. What else did I have to mention? Exponential moving average ribbon, yeah, moving very nicely. Actually, let me show that to you. This is really impressive, actually. On the daily chart, look at this. This is really, really good. So look at this on the daily chart. The exponential moving average ribbon providing momentum for the chart. Once again, yeah, just beautifully supporting the trend upwards. So we came very close to falling out of it, and I became very bearish at this time, but clearly it turned out to be something very useful in the market, because Bitcoin is now just pumped up beautifully, you know, after hitting some of these levels. So I'm very happy to see that at the moment. I think that's really impressive. Jacob, do I show my live trade? So I tell VIP members what I trade and where I'm trading it and things like that, but I don't actually show the position. Could I let you know my price prediction for Bitcoin this year? So Marvin, you know, going off the back of what I said, you know, a couple of minutes ago, I don't really do long-term analysis on the markets, like, ever. I just don't care. You know, like, the end of this year is still 11 months away, and it's not possible for me to give you an accurate, like, I don't know, it could be at $1, or it could be at 100,000, or it could be at 37,000. You know, like, I really have no idea. There are so many things that you would have to predict correctly in order to say where Bitcoin might be by the end of the year. I think it's such a pointless question. And that's why I'm not, you know, necessarily an investor. I just trade these markets, because that's what I find to be predictable. That's where I find I can influence my results. Yeah, you heard that noise too? Someone else heard that weird noise that I mentioned a minute or two ago. I just want to know what makes you think Ethereum will go down and retrace now. So I don't necessarily think that Ethereum will go down and retrace. It's just that it could, and if it does, it would make, look at this, beautiful support on the moving averages here. My goodness, it's really healthy. You know, it's just that if Ethereum does, this would be a good area to get a bounce. I don't have an opinion right now, you know, like, if it keeps is leverage haram in Islam? It depends on your imam, brother. Depends on who's filling his pockets. But I always love that question. It's very funny. Yeah, no, you know, I don't, you know, I think that there's a good chance Ethereum might just trade sideways here. Maybe it'll, you know, form a falling wedge or whatever, and then pump upwards. I don't really know. It doesn't matter, you know, like, I'm in my position. I'm happy with it. I don't really have any thoughts about it beyond this. Do I think 36,720 resistance flip now is a big deal? Let's look at that. 36720. What is that? 367. Right here. Yeah, I think this is good. Although we're not following through very well. So we should have... This is called a bullish hammer. What we did with this candle right here is we opened and closed at roughly the same level. However, within this trading hour, we dipped as low as 36.7. And so we got to bounce back up, and we closed quite high, which is a sign that the bears tried to push us down, but the bulls pushed us back up. And so this is a very bullish candle, but we didn't see follow through. Look, we're dipping down again right now. So this is where we actually start slipping into the problem of over analyzing, and so I'm not actually going to comment on this, because there's a good chance that this is just a sideways trading range. You know, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's a very short-term time frame. And I don't zoom into the chart this deep ever, because, you know, you can make analysis like this a million times and you'll just stress yourself out and you won't actually make any money. I've done this so much, so it's important to keep that in mind. Markisha asking, how do I view these graphs myself? There is a link in the description to a website called tradingview.com. It is again a referral link, so it helps out the channel if you do end up taking a paid subscription with them. However, it's free, and that tradingview.com link in the description will let you pull up a chart like this. So it'll initially look, actually I'm not going to show it to you, but there will be a home page, there will be a search bar, just type in Bitcoin USD. BTC/USD actually. But yeah, right there. I wouldn't look. It's a good sign on the short term. It's a good sign, but you know, it's broadly speaking, in my opinion, it's quite irrelevant. Here's an example. Look. We had another bullish hammer right here. Same pattern, exactly the same thing. We came down to test 34,000. We closed a little bit higher, but nothing happened afterwards. It took a few more hours until the price actually rised up. So there's a lot of instances where this is just not super reliable, and for that reason, you know, like you will have noticed, I didn't say anything about it. It's not that I didn't notice it. Obviously, I did notice it because I'm watching the chart with you, but it's just irrelevant because it's such a small time frame. And again, you know, you can really get caught up analyzing these things. But guys, to give you, you know, some perspective, I just pulled this beautiful 50% profit on Ethereum over the past 24 hours. And I told VIP members about this position, and you know, I've made a very, very nice gain on it. But my day today did not consist of sitting behind the laptop and carrying out analysis on this market. You know, my day consisted of trading up the new staff member and doing some other stuff for different things that are not trading related, because it's not the only thing that I do in my life. I don't need to. You know, it's very, very, and these the best traders, oftentimes the ones who are not, you know, the ones who actually have a life, they have a girlfriend or husband or whatever, and they actually like live instead of just trading 24/7, like I don't know, like sad guys in their basements or whatever. These guys, they are genuinely very good traders in my experience, and my friend circles and stuff like that. And they don't need to put that much time down. And it's not because they're like 150 IQ Harvard geniuses. You know, like I dropped out of high school. Like I was 16, 17 when I dropped out of school. You know, like you don't, I guess you might think that makes me have a high IQ, but I don't think I have a high IQ. I've never done a test actually, but it's not the point, you know. Like it's not that you need to be a genius. It's just that you need to be doing good analysis, and you need to do it once, and then you need to update it, you know, every day, every week, depending on how frequently you like to analyze and trade, and that's, I think, a very, very key point. You know, if you start noticing things like, you know, that bullish hammer, sure, it's cool, don't get me wrong, and it's important to notice them, but broadly speaking, they're not very important in my opinion. And it's not necessary to make it, you know, to make profits either. And I think that's a big thing to learn, you know, because I really, really struggled to learn that. I was one of the guys that would wake up 3 times a night, check the price of Bitcoin. We've had people join VIP who previously, you know, like they would go take a piss in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m. They'd go to the toilet to pee, and they would take their laptop with them to check the price of Bitcoin. You know, and how many people are watching this live stream right now? Shout out to you guys. There's about 800 of you watching this live stream right now. I'm willing to bet that at least 10% of you, at least 80 of you guys watching this right now have done that, because I've done it too. Not necessarily taking your laptop, but you would go, you know, have like a 3 a.m. pee or whatever, and then go back to bed, and you would check the price of Bitcoin. You know, probably more than, maybe like 60% of you guys. You know, and it's not necessary. You know, like don't get me wrong, I do this too, but I'm a YouTuber, you know, like I've got a Telegram channel to post into, so it's a little bit different for me, you know. Like if I didn't have this stuff, I wouldn't check it as much as I do. It's just not necessary to make profits. I just want to keep VIP members updated. And by the way, to VIP members, that's why a lot of the time you see updates at completely random times of the day. You know, I sleep at random times, and we have an international team, you know, based across the world, mainly in Europe. And no, in fact, entirely in Europe and the Middle East. But I'm awake during American time zones, just because I have a lot of American friends and stuff, and so we tend to cover all time zones quite well because of that. Let's see what else we've got in the comments right now. Do I adjust my stop loss based on the up movement? Yes, I do, Steve. Very good question. So this is another thing that I tell VIPs about in real time. I won't talk too much about this in this live stream, but of course, as my position goes up into profits, I will move my stop loss up. You know, previously my stop loss was around over here, which was a 30% loss, something like that. Now it's moved to break even, so it's not possible for me to lose on the position. And then eventually, if Ethereum keeps rising up, I might move my stop loss up to a level like this, which would mean a minimum of, say, 30% profit. So yes, I always move my stop loss, and I just move it in accordance to what the trend tells me. Someone bought 2 large pizzas. What is that? I really want pizza right now. I need to read that. I'm in the mood for pizza. I don't even see your comment though. I'm sorry, I just missed it. There's too many comments. I do try to answer every single question, and I promise you guys, if you tag me with @FORFLIES, that makes it way more likely that I'm gonna see your question. So tag me like that, and it will make it much more likely that I actually see your question in the comments. But what else have we got in the comments? Oh, my core analysis, I keep forgetting. Exponential moving average ribbon on Ethereum. Oh wow, look at this. This is beautiful. Look at this. This is what my analyst pointed out. Look at this. My goodness. This is good. You guys are gonna... This excites me. This is what excites me. What time frame was this? 61 day. 1 day. Look at this. This is the moving average ribbon. By the way, if you don't know how to get this, then type this into YouTube. Open a new tab, type this into YouTube, and I've got a full video on it. And this video is part of the FORFLIES Academy course. But right here, my goodness, look at this. We've got a spread, so we know it's reliable. Helped the trend bounce up very, very nicely previously in December, and helped us do it again in January going into February. So definitely a very, very reliable indicator, which is a demonstration of momentum. It shows us that there's still a lot of momentum supporting the trend upwards, and there's no there's no signs that this is about to change according to this right now. So I think, yeah, just really once again confirming that this is healthy price action, and this is price action that's probably going to stick around. Again, this doesn't take us by surprise, because the analysis I gave you just yesterday is that Ethereum has been consolidating for a long time within an uptrend, and so it's probably going to pop to the... I said this just yesterday. I said it was super likely that Ethereum would break up. That's why I'm in a profitable position trading it right now. But just seeing how beautifully the momentum has helped support Ethereum upwards, I think is very, very impressive. You know, and one of the cool things it will tell me is if this is this move going to last a long time, or are we going to get a big dump very quickly? And I think this definitely indicates to me that this is a healthy bit of price action. And you know, the last time it happened, we didn't end up returning back down to these price levels around $600, $500, whatever. And I think that we absolutely could be in a situation where we're seeing something very similar happening again right now. John, he's saying that he bought 2 large pizzas with Bitcoin in 2009. Yeah, that would probably hurt a little bit. But who can blame you, man? You know, again, it's like, I don't see why. Okay, I understand that there's loss aversion. You know, you sold when you probably shouldn't have, and yeah, you'd be a millionaire for those 2 large pizzas right now. But yeah, like you did the best you could at that time, you know, same as the guy who sold Ethereum at 1550, you know, like you still exited at a really good price level. And I really don't see anything wrong with that. You know, it's not about hitting home runs, you know, like there is real power in compounding these small gains over and over and over. And that's what I want you to be able to see, you know, how it's possible to tap into those things. Space Lord asking me, what is the preferred way for me to take profits on a position? There's only one way to take profits on a position as far as I know, and it's reducing the position size. The other options he listed are increasing leverage or moving stop loss up into profits. Yeah, I mean, the only real way is yeah, you reduce the position. Increasing the leverage doesn't do anything, just so you know. Moving the stop loss into profits, that's always good practice. I always do it, but it's not necessarily a profit taking strategy thing. It's just to make my worst case scenario very nice. That's what's important to me. Let's see what else we've got in the comments now. Just seen a bunch of new comments here. Did I hear about the collaboration between Link, Aave, and Compound? No, but it sounds stupid. I'm sorry. Do I think we should buy when we break 39k or wait for a drop? Ibrahim, I can't answer that for you. Really can't. I do think, however, that if Bitcoin does manage to rise above 39,000, then if it rises above this level, I think it's going to have a very easy time continuing to rise up. I think that it shouldn't be a problem. If Bitcoin surpasses this pink line right here at 39k, I think it should be very easy to go up to 42k, and because 42 is the all-time high, I think it should be very easy to go much higher, up to levels like $50,000. And so and this is why, like the title of this live stream, this is why this pump is so important in my opinion. you know, it's paving the path for that to happen, and I'm very, very excited for it. So I definitely think there's a lot of room for this to just absolutely explode upwards. Can I look at EOS? I would prefer not to. Maybe later. Think I'll go and have some seaside fish and chips now. Oh man, I miss fish and chips. You're making me jealous. I haven't been in the UK for months, and it's a good thing, but I really miss fish and chips. Actually, I miss the rain, believe it or not. Like I'm starting to feel it. I want to feel the rain on my face. How's my baby Porsche? I don't know. It's in the UK. I haven't seen it for months. Awesome comment here from Justin. FORFLIES, you're the best YouTube trader to follow for sure. Thank you. I appreciate your hesitation against fear of missing out. It's very important for me too. It would be very helpful if you did videos in the moment of making your trades as well. Yeah, Justin, it's just that there's some pressure around it. I did it last time and I didn't like it. I handled the pressure well, but it's just unnecessary. Like trading, there's these competitions going on with trading. Even like Phemex did it, and I promoted it because they asked me to. But you know, I also said that I think it's stupid. And look at this, they're doing another one right now. You know, the bull market hits here, first trading competition of 2021, 5 Bitcoin prize pool, and you guys know I don't really have a filter. You guys like the honesty. I think this is stupid because, like, okay, this incentivizes trading on their platform, and you know, if you're gonna trade on there, then you know, like anyway, then whatever, you know, just do it. You know, like if it's not gonna make a difference to you, then obviously it's a good idea because you stand to make money that you otherwise wouldn't have made, and you don't have to do anything special for it. However, you know, trading is not a competitive thing in that sense. You know, like if you're trying to, you know, force competition, then you're going to start gambling, and it's in I don't know how that's related to your question, Justin, but I don't that's why I'm not a huge fan of, you know, like showing off my skills and stuff like that. You know, it's a very internal focused thing, and I almost think that it's disrespectful to the art of trading, if there is such a thing, to commercialize it in such a way. It really is an internal battle constantly against yourself, against your psychology, and I don't know how you can make a competition out of that. You know, more power to them. I love these guys. I think they're a great exchange, and they're just doing it to grow their platform, and it's a great platform, so it makes sense. Phemex has functions that exchanges like Bybit don't, and Bybit is probably like the biggest one right now, and I work with them as well, but Phemex has better functions than them, you know, and so they're good, and you know, one annoying thing doesn't take away from the fact that this is a good exchange. And by the way, if you want to sign up to them, then there is a link in the description which will give you some free money to trade with, and you can, with that free money, you can play around with the exchange and get to know what the buttons do and stuff like that, which I think is very important. But that's interesting. Someone's gonna buy me a pizza if I'm not impressed with the Rubik chart right now. Let's look at Rubik. I want you to buy me a pizza. Rubik wrapped tether. Is this the one I'm supposed to be looking at? Yeah, it is. Well, no, I don't really get impressed by charts like this because, and you don't have to buy me the pizza. I'm not saying this just so you buy me the pizza, by the way, but look at this drawdown. This is minus 60% in 3 days. You know, I mean, this is super dangerous. So, and it's gonna happen again, by the way. Like, it's already happened twice. My goodness, make it more clear. You know, like, it's gonna drop by 50% again super soon, in my opinion. And I think that it's like, why would you trade this? Like, are you that desperate? I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea. Like, shit, you made money on this, you exited, now you bought yourself a house like this smart VIP member. Sure, pause this by the way if you want to read this. This is one of the best testimonials we ever got for you guys just tuning in now. But this is gambling, in my opinion. You know, here's something that I think is good. Swissborg. I'm working with these guys now, and I love them. You know, I pick my sponsors. I don't know if they're a sponsor per se, but I pick the people I collaborate with very, very carefully, and that's why you don't hear ads on this channel often. But right here, I've got to show this to you. Swissborg absolutely exploding. And here's an example of healthy price action, guys. Rubik pumping like a, you know, like, I don't even want to go there, you know, like Rubik is a slutty 22-year-old in the club, and Swissborg right here is a sophisticated lady that you would actually marry. This is how I see these two coins. You know, and she's still fun. This is how I see Swissborg, because look at this. This is really important. Let's look at this on the logarithmic chart. It pumps up massively, right? Look at this. Beautiful, big pumps. We consolidate side. This is amazing. Beautiful big pumps. We consolidate sideways. We don't dip like a motherfucker just into the abyss. You know, like this drop is only minus 25%, which is pretty small. You know, like what we just saw on Rubik was minus 60, right? And this dump was pretty quick, by the way. It was only within 2 days, but it was only down by 25%. Then we take the next leg up. And then, you know, when we eventually consolidate for a long time, it's trading sideways, completely sideways for a long time, for 80 days. It's trading sideways. This price action is really healthy. Yes, it does end up eventually breaking down, but the point is, when it makes its really big rallies upwards, it doesn't just get absolutely dumped because no one's actually interested in this 22-year-old for anything other than what's on her chest. Like, no, there's actual real utility and there's real reason for people to be buying this coin. And we got anything interested on... No, nothing interesting on Bitcoin. Someone's freaking out in the chat, and so, you know, there's real reason to stick around with this coin and buy it, and that's why it doesn't experience this crazy volatility of coins like Rubik, which is just shitcoin type of price action, right? This is down by minus 33% in 6 days, then recovering it back up and just trading in very sensible ways. And so when I met up with the Swissborg guys, the main guy who I talked to, his name is Alex. Actually, I did an interview with them, by the way, on a yacht in Dubai. It was really cool. It was like the coolest filming I ever did. It's going to be out soon. You know, when I met with him for the first time, one of the first things I said when I looked at this chart is this looks like Tesla. And let me show this to you real quick. You know, let me just break this down for you. You're going to love this. Oh, no, I can't. Am I still live? My buttons don't work. What? Am I still live? What's going on? I hope I am. Yeah, let's try this. I really want to show this to you really quickly to show you what healthy price, because this is... Thought you had 100k subs. Wish I had 100k subs. We're getting there. We're gonna get there. Okay, I am live. Thank you, Jackie. You know, we switch it to Swissborg once again. Again, just to prove this point. This is not the same chart I just looked at. Oh no, it is. Here. Yeah, here. It was. Someone says I'm alive. It was trading sideways here very nicely, and then it ends up pumping up. And when I looked at this chart, I looked at it when we were like around over here, you know, just to put it in. So I didn't know what was going to happen, you know, just as well as you didn't know. But if we compare it to Tesla, this is what happens with good assets, like healthy assets. They will... Oh no, this is the wrong... I'm sorry, this was incorrect. Split screen layout. On this chart, I'm going to put the Tesla chart. By the way, if you don't know how all these buttons work and stuff like that, this is another thing I teach you inside of the FORFLIES Academy. Everyone's freaking out about the dump. My God, what's happening? Is it really that bad? We're down by $100 and you can't, like... What? You're losing your shit over $100? Like, it's still the same percentage gain in 20. Why are people panicking right now? Anyway, not the point. Tesla right here. This is huge. So... these lines are irrelevant, actually. I drew these lines way before, but what we had with Tesla here, if we look at this on the logarithmic chart, is Tesla would pump really nicely. Let's look at it on the weekly time frame. It would pump really... Look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It would pump really well, and then it would hold a key level for a long time, and then it would pump again, and then hold a key level again, dump down a little bit. By the way, this is where I bought Tesla, and I had such a good entry on this trade. I traded it so well that the fucking exchange shut down my account. They didn't actually shut down my account, but they threatened to, so I had to close. I was forced to close my position, but it was such a good trade. and and so this was a very, and this trade, of course, I told VIP members about as well. Of course, you know, VIP members always killing it, and whether it's the stock market, forex, whatever. I don't actually trade forex, but stock markets, indices, commodities, you name it, we've done well inside of VIP. But not the point. Tesla over here performing very, very well, where it makes a big move upwards and then it trades sideways and then it takes another leg up. And you know, if a stock does this, it trades sideways and then it takes a leg up again, this is a sign of the stock actually being worth holding, right? It's a safe, in my opinion, a safe asset to be holding, because people are not incentivized to dump it instantly, because people know why they're buying it. And when people know why they're buying it, that's when you actually get real sustained upward price action, and that's where you tap into something very, very special, in my opinion. So again, we look at Swissborg right here, it pumps up very nicely and it holds this price level. That's what's so impressive about Swissborg right now from a technical level, in my opinion. Again, pumps up, trades sideways for a few days, holds the price level, and then moves up again. You know, of course, it could. How are they allowed to close my account? It's not that they close my account. It's actually, it's a complicated story, so I don't want to go into it. And it's not going to happen to you guys. It's because I'm a YouTuber. There was some other stuff going on behind the scenes. I was going to do some promotions for them. Not the point. But, you guys don't need to worry about it. You know, like, this is very rare. It doesn't really happen to normal people. But yeah, right here with Swissborg, it you know, it holds a nice price level, then it rises up again, doing the same thing right now. So, you know, obviously I can't tell you honestly that this is a good area to buy. So in fact, I would never tell you what is a good area to buy Swissborg. However, you know, from a technical perspective, if we go down that low, I think that this level would be beautiful to buy Swissborg at. However, Swissborg, it doesn't really get big drops like this. You know, I think like this was a big drop. This was minus 47% in 9 days, but then it recovered back up to these levels very quickly, you know. So even dropping by minus 47% now, it's not going to put Swissborg extremely low. However, if it does drop down to this level, this is obviously the best place to buy Swissborg, in my opinion, just because it consolidated here for so long. So again, if I quickly switch it back to the Tesla chart and show you how this looked on the weekly time frame, it ended up, you know, forming a beautiful area of support right here, and then we pumped up above it. But let me draw a box right here to represent what this looked like, and then take this, yeah, we'll keep the logarithmic chart. You know, what we ended up doing here with Tesla was it ended up pumping out of this range, and then it came back down into this range to find support, and that's when it had the lift off, right? And so again, if I you know, put the Swissborg chart, I'm getting really excited talking about this. This is FORFLIES and it's prime right here. What application is this? This is tradingview.com, and there's a link in the description to it. But and by the way, guys, I see you talking about Rubik. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but I think this is important, so I want to talk about this first. You know, if we look at, you know, potentially dropping down to this level again, same way as what Tesla did, I think it does make a lot of sense. You know, I mean, I just draw the same green box for you as well, just to really make it very, very clear how this might look. It could be that this is what Swissborg needs, and it does come down to this support level again. And then that's where it gets a really, really big lift off. Obviously, I think that right now there's a lot of mania here, so this isn't necessarily healthy price action. But the previous times this happened, Swissborg didn't correct, and so, and it has an established track record of not correcting. Look at this. You know, I mean, it pumps up massively, and you know, I might have said the same. Let's look at this on the daily time. In fact, let's just blow this chart up now. We don't need the Tesla chart. So I can show you CHSB, so I can show you how this looks. And by the way, if you're curious about them, you want to buy their token and stuff like that, they've got an app like on the App Store, on Google Play and the Apple App Store, and you can buy this token on KuCoin and hit BTC, and even on Uniswap. But right here, you know, we get these big pumps upwards. I would have said that, you know, this is probably, right here is probably the green box that Swissborg might retrace down to, but it doesn't really get these retracements. And so for me, you know, if Swissborg just ends up kind of trading, and I've already bought my tokens, those of you wondering, by the way, this is my biggest holding other than Bitcoin. So I really put a lot of money behind it. Like, that's it, I hold more Swissborg than I hold Ethereum. And I'm not even a crypto investor, you know, so this is a pretty big deal for me, and I've already got my token, so I wouldn't be buying more. But I think that you know, just kind of trading sideways at a level like this and then potentially breaking up would make a lot of sense. And so if it does just kind of trade sideways, ideally it will come down to test some of these support areas, but I don't think there's a guarantee of that happening. And you know, if it doesn't happen, I wouldn't want to be completely out of this because it does look really, really good. There's a lot more behind Swissborg, and I'll tell you more about it. There's reasons that it doesn't really dip lower, and it's partly because they really strongly incentivize you not to sell Swissborg tokens, and they incentivize it in a very, very good way. It's interesting, and I'm actually planning on interviewing the guy about this, the guy who runs some of these things, because like I met with the whole team. I love them all. They're really, really cool people, and I think it would be interesting to talk about it on this channel. Again, I never do this, so this should tell you something about how excited I am for Swissborg. There's actually, I should give you the link to my referral for Swissborg. Let me do that really quickly if you want to get in on the action. Because if you want to sign up now, then I should give you the link for it, because I've not actually put it in the description of any YouTube videos or anything like that yet. But I will drop it in the comments right now. It's there in the comments for you, and I'll put it in the description so you guys can see that too. Right there, it's in the description. So you can also refresh the page and check the description of this live stream, and you will see where you can. What's my star sign? It's Leo. And you can see how to join Swissborg. But like I said, really, really cool, and they have some cool things like staking. They allow you to hold like USD Circle, the stable coin, and gain, you know, something crazy like with a premium account, something like 20% a year, which is huge. Like no one can pay that much. And they do have insurance and things like that. That's exactly what I'm going to be interviewing the guy about. So if you're interested in, like, if you've made a lot of money like a bunch of VIP members lately and you want to know where to put it, one of the places I'm looking at is just staking it with these guys. They have an insurance policy. It's not 100% safe, but nothing in crypto can be, and this is as close to 100% safe as I've found. They're regulated in 2 countries, including Switzerland, which to me is a pretty impressive thing, and actually they're based in Switzerland, so there is a lot to it. Don't worry, I'll tell you more about it later. But shout out to Crypto Royale for being a new subscriber. 1 second, I need to send something to my assistant. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Royale for subscribing. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed, then please do so. If you haven't already liked this video, this live stream, then please do that as well. It's been absolutely great so far. We're 90 minutes in again. So if you've appreciated the content, if you've learned anything, if you found it interesting, then please do, as usual, you know, make sure that you have already subscribed to the channel. Some of you guys might have been watching this video, but you're not subscribed and you might not even know it. And so if you do subscribe, you do guarantee that you can keep on watching them as soon as they're published. And then liking the video, it does just help the channel grow. And it's very important for me. It makes me feel nice. So thank you for that. Back to Rubik though. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty clear way of showing you that I'm not impressed by the trend right here, because I don't think it's healthy. You know, it looks good, but it looks like it can just, and someone said it's a new coin. No, it's not. It's been around for, you know, like 5 months or something now. So I don't think it is a new coin, and I don't think it's wildly impressive either. I don't know, you know, it's just things like this, they don't really excite me. It's not sustainable, and yeah, it's like wake up a millionaire kind of stuff, right? And that's cool. Like if that's what you like, then cool, but that's not what, you know, that's not what I like to talk about. That's not what I find interesting, because, you know, you can't really replicate these results. Like either you get lucky and you get in early, or that's it, you know. But trading, it relies a lot less on luck. You can really influence what's going on. Flow, thoughts on Cardano. So I've already analyzed ADA earlier on in this video, and earlier on this live stream, and I don't want to go into it again because other people will just hear me repeating myself. So please just rewind this live stream. It was about 10 minutes in. After 10 minutes in is when I started talking about it, maybe like 20 minutes in. It's a good live stream overall though, so you know, you can just listen to it as a podcast. Do I trust William Williams fractals indicators. Don't even know what that is, mate. Sorry. I've heard of it though. I don't use it. What do I think of DOT? Nothing. I don't think anything about DOT. FORFLIES, yeah, I get what you mean. Thank you for talking about it though. Yeah, of course, and it's no shade to you, you know, like thank you for asking me to mention it, because it got me on a passionate tangent about what healthy price action looks like. I do still want that pizza, but it's okay, I'm gonna get it myself. And I shouldn't, because some of you probably already know, but I do intermittent fasting. I only eat 1 meal a day, and I've already had my 1 meal. But I might do it anyway. I don't know. I'll see. There is a beautiful Shisha lounge a little bit out of this office, and they do great pizza. So I think I actually will go. Yeah, no, I've just convinced myself I'm going there. What do I think about bcash? I think that it is a stain on humanity. That's what I think about bcash. Oh wow, look at that. FORFLIES was right again. It just keeps dropping. Wow. It's just at all-time lows. It's just completely shit. Yeah. I don't really have thoughts about it. It's just funny to laugh. Actually, while we're laughing at something, let's look at Ripple. Again, look at this. It's the same thing, you know, like I said this before and it's happened again, but you know, I said it's probably going to pump up massively, and it's probably going to get rejected massively again. And, you know, it pumped up really, really high within the space of like 3 days, right? 5 days, it pumped up by about 3 times, which is huge. But then it crashed down from high to low by 54%, and from high to current price by 47%. So, yeah, I think more people got fucked on this than people who actually made money. And again, that makes it very, you know, unreliable and unsafe to trade, in my opinion. It makes it very uninteresting to me. Getting asked to look at EOS. Let's look at EOS now as well. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry, I just needed to shoot off a text. What Shisha flavor do I recommend? You know, the main one in London for a lot of people is blueberry with something, and I like that. It like right now I started missing home a little bit. It's not home anymore, but I've started missing London, and so I've been smoking a little bit of blueberry, but strawberry is good too. I don't know. It's it depends. I like to try out new stuff all the time. What else have we got in the comments? Fast analysis on EOS. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what EOS is doing. Beautiful. So this box I've drawn from probably years ago. Yeah, from years ago. Still responding very good to this box. Still responding very well to this box. If we drop below it, I think it's going to go very, very low. And it already did twice. Well, once. The second time it didn't really drop very low. But it looks to me like if EOS is able to overcome the $4 level, it's probably going to do very, very well. I think if it can rise above these highs, I think it's going to do very, very well. Anything before that, I think it's a bit too premature to be looking at EOS at the moment. It just looks like it's kind of in a consolidation range. It looks like it's not interesting to trade at the moment, to be honest. This is like above $4 is where I'd probably be interested in trading it. Maybe, you know, above this wick, but broadly speaking, I don't see anything particularly interesting about this chart, unfortunately. Only smoke the trees. Yeah, I'm not taking that risk in Dubai. There's no way I'm doing anything illegal in Dubai. Buddy Jake, FORFLIES, so, sir, how much percentage profit do you strip per high? What do you mean? I don't understand your question. I don't understand your question. Can you please say that? Can you please reword it? I don't recommend any cold storage wallets. You know, just do your research and find out what you think is safest to use and most convenient and suits your needs. The big popular ones are Trezors, and actually Ledgers are the most popular ones. and if it's popular, it's probably good. but there are a lot, and they each have unique selling points. You know, you want a touch screen, you want Bluetooth, you want it to connect to your phone instead of just your computer. There are unique selling points to each of them, and this channel is not about that. So trees are illegal in the UAE. Trees, by the way, talking about marijuana, it's illegal in the UAE and the UK. It's just that in the UAE you're fucked if you get caught with it, you know, like no one should be taking that risk here. In the UK, I don't know, it's not such a big deal. What's my opinion on XLM? No opinion on Stellar. I haven't looked at Stellar properly for years, and it's probably going to stay that way, just because I can't trade it on leverage, you know, and I'm only a leverage trader. It's in a nice uptrend right now. It's having pullbacks. Let's see how deep these pullbacks are. Pretty deep, 50%, but then we recover it as well. This is a nice long-term uptrend as well. It looks healthier to me than something like Rubik, for example, just because it's been around for a long time as well. I don't really have any thoughts on XLM though. Got both, think Trezor is better. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you have the money, then buy multiple and find what you think is safest. Did I make my website with WordPress? I hope it doesn't look that way. I don't think so. No, I didn't make the website, but I don't think it's WordPress. FORFLIES, which option is better if you entered into a nice position? Let it sit and only take profit if it begins to dump when it reaches the next resistance, or just close it when it nears the resistance? Okay, that's a good question, and it probably didn't make sense to a lot of people, so let me explain what he is asking. We'll use the Kraken chart. And I'm going to use the example of my current position. Actually, no, I won't. I'm going to, let's say I entered a position on Ethereum at 400. I don't know. I can't think of a good level to give you this example. But the person's basically asking, let's say I entered a long position over here, and I'm basically saying I think Ethereum's going to go up. Should I take profits on Ethereum if we get rejected? Or should I take profits on Ethereum as we go up to potential rejection areas? So option 1, should I take profits only after rejections? Or option 2, should I take profits as we go up to those resistance levels? Obviously, in a trend like this, option 1 is better, where you only take profits upon rejections, but you don't know if a rejection like this is going to get a lot bigger. And that's where, you know, you can only see that in hindsight. In the moment, it's impossible. And so your question defeats itself as soon as you try implementing this in practice. And what the fuck? Okay, that was Siri, although alright, it's Indian Siri, by the way, although I'm not using an iPhone right now. So. Is there a workaround for US citizens to access Swissborg? Not that I know of, Mark, unfortunately. If I'm not mistaken, it's not available to US residents. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think so. So, yeah, unfortunately, US people are just kind of out. But yeah, the question with regards to Ethereum, sorry, taking profits. Obviously, I think that you know, ideally you would you know, only take profits upon big rejections, but you don't know if a rejection like this will turn big. And you know, if we zoom in, this rejection, just as a random example, dropped by minus 32%. At what point will you start panicking? When we're minus 10%, minus 15, minus 25%? You know, when are you gonna start panicking and start thinking that actually this is the time to take profits? And I couldn't say, but my strategy is to just take profits as we go up whenever I'm happy. I know that this profit I'm in right now is not going to be my last one. And I always take that approach with me all the time in the markets, and it's always served me very, very well. So I hope that answers your question about taking profits. I think it's always better, and that's a good question, by the way. I just take profits as we approach resistance levels, when I'm happy with the percentage gain, stuff like that. Those are basically my criteria for taking profits. FORFLIES, do I fly? I don't really understand your question. I do take flights, I guess, if that's what you mean. What part of the technical analysis book do you recommend? Do I think is most helpful? Where do I think I got most of my strategy from? Ryan, that's a good question, but it's been years since I read that book. For me, I think just the first 5 to 10 chapters were the most important in that book. Actually, can I make a confession? I never actually finished that book. And I didn't even get close to finishing it. So, I think the starting parts were good. You know, Ryan, really for me, the bulk of the things I learned in my analysis, they just came through trial and error. And it's, you know, I tested out different systems, I created systems, I refined them, and then I found something that I wanted to stick with, and that was it. So it really didn't go far beyond that for me. Someone's asking for a VPN. I don't really have a recommendation for VPNs either. You know, just Google it, and there's a lot that you can look at. If you do want to sign up to an exchange like Phemex and you're in a country like the United States, you will need a VPN, and it's a lot of people do it. In fact, almost everyone I know does it, but obviously I can't endorse that. And yeah, so for Bitcoin trading and stuff, I do use Bybit. I also use Phemex, and I'm highlighting Phemex to you in this one. There's a link in the description to it, and you can sign up and trade alongside me there. The book we were talking about, Bart, is called Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets, and it is linked in the description. Brian, can you please explain adding margin to your position while it's active, like how it affects your profit and loss over the whole position? Brian, it will just expect. Adding margin means you've got a position open and you add more to that position afterwards. It will basically just increase your position size. And so how it affects your P&L is it depends where you add margin. It depends where you increase your profits. If you increase your profits far away from your entry level when you're in profits, it will, you know, your actual profits will stay the same, but you'll stand to make more money afterwards. And if you add margin while you're in a loss, for example, again, your overall loss stays the same, but you stand to lose a lot more if the position continues to drop, and you stand to gain a lot more if the position goes up in your favor. I hope that answers your question. Although, I'll be honest with you, Brian, I can't remember a time in my life where I've added margin. I must have done it a few times, probably even recently, but it's very rare. You know, like once I've entered a position, I don't amend it. I especially don't amend the position size unless I reduce the position size. And part of the reason for that is because I think it's very important to make sure that you keep in mind. I keep in mind. Sorry, not you. Obviously, don't listen to me. I'm not a financial advisor, but I think for me, it's very important to keep in mind that there is always the next trade. So even if I do mess something small up, I'm always going to have a chance to do this again, you know, later on. Guys, I'm going to get going soon because we are coming up to that 2-hour mark. And that pizza is calling me. What else have we got? It's crazy why US won't let certain coins or exchanges. Megaskaters, I don't think it's that the US banned Swissborg. I think it's that Swissborg decided not to offer their stuff to US citizens. I mean, you probably can still buy their token on these exchanges, but it's complicated. Anything finance related is complicated in the US, you know, and it's stupid, you know. I couldn't blame somebody if they left the country. It's just part, you know, UK isn't as bad as the US, but it's bad, you know, and so I left, you know, partly down to those reasons. The United States obviously has much more appeal than the United Kingdom, in my opinion, but you know, just because you've got such variations in, you know, scenery and places to be and things to do, but you can still visit if you don't have the passport, you know, and depending on which passport you get afterwards, it's you'll still have plenty of time to explore the United States. I'm pretty happy not being a resident because it sounds fucking terrible, but still exploring Cali, for example, which is my favorite place on the planet. Yeah, guys, if we can't shoot up those likes, I would appreciate that. Thank you in the comment section. Who said that in the comments? I've lost that comment. Someone, oh, Doc Crypto, thank you. Gonna take some final questions and then head off. UK down the pan. Unfortunately, yeah, it's doing pretty bad. Probably why Data Dash left. Yeah, where did Data Dash go though? Did he go to somewhere like Puerto Rico, or did he actually leave the States? Christian Gomez, where am I right now? Why does the background look like Cyberpunk 2077? First of all, is that game out yet? Is it actually out? Because I wanted to play it. I think it's out, right? Is it on the PS5? Because I'm interested. And where I am, I'm in Dubai. You can see there is the Burj Khalifa. There, that's the Burj Khalifa, and so this is downtown Dubai. It's a very cool office space. FORFLIES, I said to myself to trade only Bitcoin on leverage. My 2 ETH on no leverage is my ticket to affording a new PC. Should I stick to that promise? I couldn't say, bro. That's on you. I will never give advice like that. It's out and cancelled? It's been out for months? Yeah, I'm so out of touch. I used to be, for those of you who don't know, I used to be a video gamer. Like, I used to play video games like 12 hours a day. I wanted to be a competitive video gamer, and then I got a life, and then I learned what women were and stuff. So I'm quite out of touch now, but I'm very happy with that. Do I have a Lambo? No, not yet. I might get one. They seem pretty fun. Why Dubai? I get this question every live stream. Taxes, weather, people, culture. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and ease of doing business. You know, making money and stuff like that. Crypto can see Burj Khalifa too. Yeah, everyone wants to see it. It's out, but don't play on PS5. Why not? Yeah, Cali is quite communist now, and that's obviously the main complaint of a lot of people. They have a shitload of people leaving every single year, and they're really screwed up. And that's exactly why, even though it's my favorite place on the planet, I'm not there. It's just not worth it. Okay, Steve outlined it there. I am from Switzerland, and the reason for Swissborg app not being available in the United States is because of our privacy and data protection. So either that means your privacy and data protection laws are weaker or stronger than the United States, but in one of those cases, it's not compliant with the US. Or maybe it's not compliant with Switzerland. I don't know. Welcome to Anthony from Southampton. Your government says you're not supposed to be watching this video. FORFLIES, where do you take profits to stable coins? USD, Euro, I just go straight into fiat. Californication. I don't know what that has to do with this conversation. What do I do in Dubai? This? I'm a trader, I guess, by profession. If I had a job, I guess that would be it. I prefer professional fun haver, but it's okay. Did I hear that Jeff Bezos is leaving his company? Yeah, I did. I was at first I thought it might be because some shit was about to go down, because I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a period, I think it was just before the COVID pandemic, if I'm not mistaken, there was a period where it was people like Bill Gates and a bunch of others that stepped down from the board of their big companies. And that was interesting, how it, yeah, you know, how there was some big event that happened just after all these people stepped down from their positions. Oh, by the way, while I have your attention, I'm gonna leave soon on this live stream. But while I have your attention, I just want to bring something to your attention, which is Boeing stock. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen this already. So the link is in the description for that. But I want to show you the Boeing stock on one very particular day that we all know a lot about, which is 2001 on the 9th month on the 11th day. I have a social responsibility to highlight this to you, because at 60,000 subscribers I would be a fool if I didn't talk about this. I would not be making good use out of this platform that I am blessed to have. I'm not going to say too much, but this first circle represents the days of trading before 9/11, and the second circle represents the days of trading after 9/11. So somebody or some people sold Boeing stock aggressively just before 9/11 happened. And we can look at what is the company that owns British Airways? IAG, right here, International Consolidated Airlines Group. This is the company that owns British Airways and Iberian Airlines, Iberia, whatever. It's the Spanish one. And again, same thing we can see over here. Oh, what? This is not the. I'm sorry, it's this chart. It's the same thing that happens right here on 9/11. So the first circle represents the days of trading before 9/11, and this big circle right here, this is the day of 9/11. So again, same thing. There is a small sell-off that happens just before 9/11, and you could put it down to just normal market movements. That would make a lot of sense, but I think there's something here. And you know, I don't want to be digging things out of the history books or whatever, but I saw this a few days ago and it shocked me. And you know, a lot of people are interested in stock trading now, so I think this is important too. 3 days before they started shorting. Yeah. And obviously we all know that the full story of 9/11 is not, you know, just some Muslim terrorist crashed into the tower and that's it. You know, like obviously we all know there's more to it, but look, I'm not gonna draw any conclusions on this, but I feel I have a social responsibility, having this following on YouTube, to highlight this to you, and you can look at these charts in your own time and decide, you know, what you want to think about that. I'm not gonna tell you what my judgments are, but I just wanted to highlight it to you, you know, because I can't just look at shit like this and then be silent about it, you know, like I gotta say something. What have you seen now that might indicate something coming? Do you mean for Bitcoin? I mean, for Bitcoin, it's just broken out of a key resistance area. And yeah, by the way, see that support bounce? Look, we haven't made any use of it at all. So it looks pretty bad in my opinion right now on the short term. But this is why I don't analyze really small time frames like this. I just don't think that it's important. It's useful even. So yeah, we don't know. Like obviously, I don't know what's gonna happen with Jeff Bezos with why he stepped down. Probably just something like, you know, pursuing bigger things. Why talk about this now? The 9/11 thing? Just because I saw it a few days ago. Honestly, it's just because I saw it a few days ago, and right now everyone's interested in stocks because of the whole GME stuff. By the way, GME crashed. Look at this. A lot of people lost. I told you guys this would happen. Come on, don't be surprised about this shit. 70% down. 70%. Fuck. 70%. In how long? Down in total, like from the average down to the low in 3 days, 4 days, 76%. This is crazy. This is crazy. Jeff Bezos running for office, President of the United States. Well, that wouldn't be surprising. Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising. But no, like this just crashing crazily. I mean, obviously, like, you know, a lot of people made a lot of money on this, and it was life-changing money, and I'm so happy for them, and they paid for medical bills and stuff like that. But so many more people just got completely screwed on this, and this is why if you're new to trading, you've got to do it as safely as possible. It's so important. This is one of the key things I work with VIP members to aim towards, where people actually commit to their exit plans. They make money, they commit to their exit plans. I show them how I'm making money, how I'm navigating my losses. Then they're making their own profits as well. They're taking risk off the table. They're making £4,000 right here and complaining about it because it's not as much as he wanted to make. But because he's committing to good risk management and he's trading safely, he's making that 4,000 again as well. So it's really, what's down 70%? GME, GameStop stock. You know, and so new traders getting absolutely screwed on these moves, but people in VIP a lot of the time able to navigate these things with a little bit more safety and then make very nice gains and keep them, which is obviously very important. So if you want to join VIP, this person, I think, if I'm not mistaken, our newest yearly member joined us very recently, on her first trade, already pulling a 24% profit. Again, it's on peanuts, it's on very small money, but that's not the point. This person just made her first trade. She didn't even know what the buttons do, but these are things that we teach inside of VIP, and now doing very well. So very impressive. And if you want to join VIP, find out exactly what we're doing and how you can get in on the action, then the steps are on screen right here. The Reddit group could go to prison for pump and dump. Yeah, well, so should most of Wall Street then. Maybe not most, but so should elements. So should people from Wall Street. Alright guys, I'm gonna head off now. We just hit the 2-hour mark. It's been an absolutely great live stream. Thank you all for joining. If you do want to join VIP, then the steps on screen will take you into VIP, and it will take you less than 30 seconds. Click on the first link in the description down below, then click on the @FORFLIES button, and then click on send message to ask me how to join VIP, and I'll give you all the information about it. If you have enjoyed this live stream, if you've learned anything at all, please now like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. I completely agree with you. The Reddit group does deserve support. And I love seeing the little guy make money. Even more, I love corruption being exposed. And it's great. So, you know, while I'm happy, I'm happy that, you know, this whole thing happened, and you know, like a hedge fund came down, and people became more aware of corruption happening in Wall Street and stuff like that, and how that you know, affects the rest of the world. What I don't like is the underbelly of that, which is that a lot of normal people with a lot of hope and not a lot of money have now lost a lot, which is important to them, and they're in a worse position now, you know, and the markets will do that. So please avoid that if it hasn't already happened to you. It's almost a guarantee it'll happen to nearly everybody. It definitely happened to me many times, and I speak from a place of pain in my history where I've had this problem. So obviously I want other people to be able to avoid it. Cheers, FORFLIES. Enjoy your pizza. You deserve it. Yes, I will go get my pizza. Thank you very much. I'm glad you guys have enjoyed this one. The final thing actually that I want to mention is I saw a conspiracy theory that there must have been another hedge fund that wanted to take Melvin Capital out of the game by pumping this coin and basically remove a competitor. And so it wasn't regular people in their basements promoting GME on Reddit, you know, to try and trigger a short squeeze, but actually it might have been a competitor exchange trying to do this and engineering all of this hype on Reddit. I think it's possible, and I just thought it was something interesting to highlight to you guys. But yeah, look at this, just completely annihilated. It's not the first big dump that GME has had. GME dropped first massively on this drop. A lot of people got screwed over here, and now again, it's so typical. It's so typical. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Once again, you know what to do. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Tick the bell so you don't miss out on this very time-sensitive content. And with that, I will see you in the next video, next live stream, whatever it is. I'll see you in the Telegram channel. Shout out to VIPs. They've just seen me pulling a beautiful trade on Ethereum, and I am anticipating that this trade will continue running into very nice profits, hopefully into that $1,700 range. I think that's quite doable. So, all right, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.